So, who do you think is the strongest man to ever live? I'm sure quite a few names may come to mind. Ryan Shaw, perhaps, or Eddie Hall, or maybe even Mitchell Hooper. Who knows? But I can almost guarantee that you've never heard the name of Angus Mac Askill before. Unless you were born in the 1800s, that is. Angus was a Scottish man who was born in 1825. At birth, Angus was a completely normal-sized infant. However, once the young lad entered his adolescence, Angus began to grow, and he never really stopped. By the age of 20, he stood at a towering 7 foot 4 inches. And just a couple years after that, he reached the absolutely absurd height of 7 foot 9. Despite his great stature, though, Angus was a rather well-proportioned man, and he would soon become known around his local community as the Cape Breton Giant. Even in his youth, the boy's legendary strength was already evident. At the age of 14, he knocked another boy out stone cold during an altercation, and the other lad was unconscious for so long that many townsfolk began to fear that he was dead. Luckily, however, this wasn't the case, and once Angus became an adult, his strength would only continue to grow. At one point, Angus easily lifted an anchor that was estimated to have weighed over 2,000 pounds and carried down the wharf, showing no discernible effort. He was also known to carry barrels that weighed over 300 pounds apiece under each arm like they were nothing. Despite his terrifying size, Angus was known to be a gentle giant, with a quiet and reserved nature. Tragically, the huge young man passed away at the age of just 38 due to a brain infection. But can you even imagine what Angus might have achieved in the modern day? With proper equipment, training, diet, and gear, I think it's safe to say that his achievements would have been just as remarkable as his height.